Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is Mary Esther Miranda Gilbert. I'm a nutritional physiologist, nutritional healing specialist, botanical medicines researcher, writer, educator, and I would like to talk to you a little bit about a little bit of an excerpt from the cancer book that I am researching and writing. It's going to be a little while longer because I'm very diligent and very tenacious when it comes to putting together my books. But this book is going to be a very major result of all of the research that I've been doing on the science, what the scientific community has been discovering on what botanical medicines do against cancer. So this is not a medical advice at all. This is reporting on the scientific community's research, and I am just relaying their information to you. So it's been quite a ride. I know there's a lot happening in the world right now, but one thing I really like seeing is the fact that it's such a relief to see this whirlwind work that Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy is doing, disrupting the old status quo of the harmful medical and pharmaceutical industrial complex, as well as making waves in the food industrial complex and the chemical, synthetics, microplastics industrial complex, and revealing to the public the body burden of all of these accumulations of environmental pollutants in the body. Those of us who have been doing our best to expose the harmful practices of these industries for decades can appreciate Secretary Kennedy's empowered position for mobilizing his administrative forces to enact within just a few months. Kennedy is overhauling the FDA, restricting untested chemicals in food while phasing out petroleum-based food dyes. He's directing initiatives addressing chronic disease, prioritizing healthy foods in schools, reconstituting the advisory committee on immunization practices, removing the stronghold surrounding vaccine controversies and safety. Kennedy Secretary is creating a paradigm shift that is taking on momentum in the halls of the Health and Human Services to prioritize prevention and nutrition. What keeps me a bit impatient, however, is that there is no mention of nutritional healing, applying the powerful nutrient constituents in nutrient-rich whole foods to boost the body's capacity to restore itself back to health and out of the disease degenerative health process. Like the feeling of a storm coming, there's a strong compulsion to break through Kennedy's gatekeepers and show him the science, relay the years of witnessing health transformations doctors couldn't figure out, and call to the attention the undeniable nutritional healing practices of ancient healing traditions from cultures throughout the world that match modern day scientific findings. And so just where is this being acknowledged? The dilly-dallying, or seemingly so, that's going on, seeming to evade the real solutions to 99% of people's health problems through the science and art of nutritional healing, has to come an end soon if this current administration truly wants to fundamentally understand how to make America healthy again. We have to get down to the cellular level, what nutrients do at the microcell level, what the plant constituents, the phytochemical complexes that are in our plants that have been shown by scientists for many decades now, just how they aid the body in destroying cancer and reversing cancer. And again, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just reporting to you what the scientific community has found through peer-reviewed science reviews studies on what the body does with these phytochemicals to protect itself. So reaching and maintaining our optimal health vibrancy will continue to impact others at an energetic level, which is felt in the world in ways we can ever realize, like the butterfly effect. small initial changes in a complex system can lead to fast outcomes sooner or later. So the fact that I've been teaching people for 40, over 40 years now, how the body works and how nutrients work in the body to help the body restore itself and recover itself from all manner of ailments. It's nutrients that restore the body back toward health. Nothing else will do it. So any person who takes the initiative of helping their system better perform and rid itself of the cells that are performing in a diseased or degenerative diseased manner, uh, any kind of change that they make to improve their health and prevent this degenerative disease process is going to have an effect that people don't realize. Just looking better, looking healthier will inspire either family and friends, associates, or strangers on the street who say that person looks pretty nice. That person looks pretty healthy. So the transformations that you create in your inner universe has many more outcomes than you realize, not just in what people see and how you feel, but the invisible energy field that surrounds the body that biophysicists, call various names. But this bioenergy field that surrounds the body that extends 6 feet out, and some experiments have shown that this kind of field can be felt across the world. So we are constantly interacting with each other's energy fields from people we can't even see because they're so far away from us, but yet at a frequency subatomic level, distance isn't a factor. It doesn't matter. So we are, by being healthier, we're elevating the vibrational frequency of our own cells, and therefore, as we are connected to everyone else's bioenergy fields, then we are affecting them as well. So the more healthy people on the planet, the better the civilization will be, because healthy people will be more apt to want to create change and meet the challenges of creating change and enacting change in government, things like that. So we are all connected to each other ultimately. So the key to making the world a better place begins with our own inner ecology, the highly nourished mind and body that naturally elevates the soul. Now, tonight, I'd like to share with you a few of the botanicals that are going to be in my nutritional protocol against cancer book. So I'd like to, I probably should share my screen at this point and show you what I have for you here. Okay, you should be able to see my document here. All right, so anti-cancer phytochemical bioactive compounds in your foods. This is the feature article of the True Health Journal newsletter in this bi-monthly newsletter. So a peer review on the latest research in cancer treatments includes using the bioactive phytochemical compounds contained in plants. This chart that I'm showing you here summarizes the molecular mechanisms and pharmacological effects of these phytochemicals that are in these botanicals. All righty, so about 50 to 60% of cancer patients in the U.S. utilize plant-derived nutrient factors in complementary and alternative medicine, both exclusively and concomitantly with medical treatments such as chemotherapy and or radiation therapy. So this chart summarizes some of the phytochemicals in the plants that are used as cancer chemopreventive and treatment agents, according to the scientific research that I've been pulling out from various sources. Take parsley, for instance. It contains, I need to stop and just relay the fact that all of these botanicals not only have one phytochemical, they have a huge array of different synergistic interactive phytochemical complexes in every single botanical. But I'm just quoting to you what the scientists have found and what they have studied in particular complexes or phytochemicals in different plants. So in this case, parsley, the scientists studied the apigenin in parsley, and they show that it demonstrates cytotoxic activities, meaning cell destruction activities against breast cancer cell lines. So in the laboratory, they take breast cancer cells from patients and they grow those breast cancer cells in laboratory cultures and they name them. So this particular cell line that these scientists were studying is they named MCF7. So, don't get intimidated by these numbers and letters that they apply all over the place in the scientific world. So that's just merely what they labeled this particular breast cancer cells that they grew and multiplied in the laboratory so that they could use different things like the apigenin and parsley on these cells just to see the results and see how they act on these cancer cell lines. They also tried it on colon cell lines. They named HCT116. So they found that cytotoxicity activity is comparable to that of doxorubicin. Now, I'm not familiar with drugs. When people are taking medications and they come to me for nutritional help, I just look up the side effects with them, and so that they are, aware of what the side effects of the medications are. So this particular one, they compared the apigenin on certain cancer cell lines with this drug called doxorubicin on another group of the same cancer cell lines. Okay, so they compared the actions of the drug versus the phytochemical complex in parsley. So it's being considered as a mediator for chemoprevention, and the scientists have deducted or deduced that it induces a process of autophagia, which means, these cells that will destroy the immune cells that will destroy other cells that don't belong in the body. But many, it's been a long day. I just did another video production and I had to switch my mind over to this. So induces a process of autophagia, but may induce resistance against chemotherapy. It induces apoptosis in human colon cell cancer cell lines. I hope I can get through this tonight. But anyway, so apigenin was tested, and the scientists found that it actually can destroy the cancer cells in this human colon cancer cell line. Okay, so next I pulled out information on turmeric. Now these are abbreviated reports that I'm presenting to you. The book I'm writing on the cancer is going to be a lot more involved in a lot more detail. So I'm kind of summarizing what I have found that's going to be in my book. So turmeric has a substance called curcumin, and it induces apoptosis in cancer cells without cytotoxic effects on healthy cells. So it's going to leave the healthy cells alone, theoretically, and also destroy the cancer cells. So curcumin interferes with what's called the NF-κB, which connects with inflammatory diseases, including cancer. Okay, so this is a pathway that happens in an inflammatory condition that involves cancer. It modulates the growth of tumor cells by regulating multiple cell signaling pathways, cell proliferation, cell survival, and the caspase activation, which is an enzyme. It's a tumor suppressor, a death receptor, mitochondrial and protein kinase pathway. All right, so now the mitochondria in the body's cells are the energy producing factories. So your body runs on energy, and the mitochondrial organelle in every single cell in the body is the one that produces energy. So they tested it against all kinds of different types of inflammatory problems and different pathways, and curcumin was able to destroy all of the cells involved. Now, saffron, it contains a substance called quercetin, and it's listed as a novel anti-cancer drug against hepatocellular which means liver cells carcinoma or cancer. The ethanolic extracts of saffron are listed in studies on on human lung, pancreatic, skin carcinoma, colorectal, and breast cancer cell lines in vitro, which means in laboratory grown cultures. So quercetin in saffron affects cancer cell growth, inhibiting nucleic acid or DNA synthesis. So when a cancer cell starts growing, then it's rapidly reproducing its own DNA. So the quercetin in saffron inhibits this process, and it also enhances the apoptosis or self-destruction of cancer cells in these particular cell lines that scientists were looking at. Also, it hinders growth factor signaling pathways, preventing cancer cell development. So it attacks the cancer cells, or inhibits the cancer cells, I should say, in various ways. So one of them including not allowing it to grow and not allowing it to communicate. Grapes contain cyanogens, so that inhibits the INOS and COX-2 or cyclooxygenase 2 inflammation. So the gene expression, cell proliferation in colon cancer cells, I am tired, in colon cancer cells are affected by these cyanogens in grapes. Demonstrated chemopreventive potential to stop cancer from progressing. And a study shows that cyanidin 3 glucoside attenuated or blocked ethanol-induced activation of this particular pathway. It's got a long name, doesn't it? In breast cancer cells, and may prevent and reduce ethanol-induced breast cancer metastasis. So it keeps the breast cancer from spreading. Okay, so this is the kind of studies that scientists have very painstakingly and intricately studied on these different biochemical compounds. There are more here that I'll show you a couple of more. There are actually quite a bit here in this issue, but let me go ahead and just give you a couple more here. So brassica vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, collard greens, and diindolylmethane, indole 3 carbinol. Okay, so these are the phytochemical complexes in these vegetables. So they tested it against tobacco smoke-induced lung cancer in laboratory research animals. Preventive effects found to be mediated partially via modulation of the receptor tyrosine kinase signaling pathway. So they're studying all these intricate pathways that this information is processed in the body. So it takes these phytochemical nutrient compounds and it takes these, pathways in the body, and our DNA monitors and finds that something is wrong, and it uses these phytochemicals in these wonderful botanicals to prevent a lot of the goings-on that would lead to cancer, or to exacerbate the problem of cancer growing and spreading. So green tea contains epigallocatechin. I need to put that P in there while I'm thinking about it. I work off the Word document when I'm presenting my my presentations here so that I can make corrections as I go. There, that's the correct spelling of the phytonutrient in green tea, called epigallocatechin gallate, or EGCG. So this is the most abundant catechin in green tea. So we've got classifications and subclassifications and sub-subclassifications, thousands and thousands of phytochemical complexes in plants. So under the catechin category is the EGCG in green tea. Okay, so increasing evidence shows that it can be beneficial for treating brain, prostate, cervical, and bladder cancers. All right, again, these are scientific studies, research studies, not making any medical claims here. Increasing evidence shows it can be beneficial for treating brain, prostate, cervical, and bladder cancers. I repeat myself. And EGCG binds and inhibits the anti-apoptotic protein involved in both cancer cell and normal cell survival. So it's going to prevent anything from growing, and it's going to inhibit the protein that does not allow the cancer cell to self-implode or self-destruct. Inhibited hepatocyte growth factor induced colon cancer cell proliferation. So it's going to inhibit the growth of liver cells. And so this is from how the laboratory animals that were tested, they were given the colon cancer cell, you know. So, but the EGCG prevented any further damage. It inhibited the growth of these cancer cell proliferation in this case. Damaged cancer cell mitochondria and JNK-mediated EGCG-induced apoptotic cell death. So it's going to damage the energy-producing mitochondria in the cancer cell. So that's another epic, very powerful thing that these phytochemicals do, that these scientists have discovered that they do. It's amazing how their work is so intricate. JNK is a signaling cascade activated by environmental stress, cytokines, which are inflammatory proteins, and growth factors, the things that make cells grow, regulating crucial processes like apoptosis, differentiation, changing how the DNA is going to develop the cell into certain types of traits, proliferation and inflammation. As a stress-activated protein kinase, it plays a key role in diseases such as cancer. All right, so epigallocatechin, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm just going to go over strawberries really quick. So strawberries, apples, persimmons, grapes, onions, and cucumber, they all contain the biochemical called phytochemical. So it's been tested as an anti-carcinogen. It has anti-carcinogenesis effects in this particular human colon cancer cell line. And it's protected cells from oxidative stress or degenerative, breaking down prematurely and causing, all kinds of different DNA kinds of functioning, damaging DNA, from hydrogen peroxide induced cell death. So sometimes when you take a certain kind of hydrogen peroxide and apply it, to different test animal subjects that are being tested, and they induce, this kind of disease process, then they test it against the phytochemical, and they find that it protected the cells from this degenerative effect. So that is great. We use hydrogen peroxide, I think it's 3% that you can find at grocery stores or pharmacies and whatnot, and it's a great antimicrobial. So it's good for cuts and to arrest any kind of infection that might start. Some people, I think you can find it in toothpaste, natural toothpaste, things like that. So you don't want to ingest it, but it's still a great thing to use topically to prevent any kind of infections. But in this case, I don't know if they used the 3% or if they used a much more potent kind of hydrogen peroxide. But if they wanted to induce, cancer cell death or cancer cell problems, then they might have used something stronger. I don't know. It doesn't say in the literature. But so phytochemical showed an inhibitory effect on cancer cell adhesion, migration, and invasion. So sometimes cancer cells will attach themselves to healthy tissues and invade those tissues. And they can also grow, or they can be carried, throughout the circulatory pathway systems in the body and migrate to other areas of the body, or they can just simply invade the tissues, right? Take over the tissues. So phytochemical showed that it inhibited all of these processes. Also, it decreased the nuclear factor levels, transcription factors that are translocated into the cell nucleus to mediate inflammatory, immune, and survival gene expression. All right, so it did not allow any kind of interference with how your DNA is going to transcribe, information from one cell to another. So it was able to arrest any problem there. Okay, so I mean, this chart goes on and on and on. If you like what you see here, you can join as a member of the True Health Mastery Institute, and you get this free newsletter twice a month, and you get all kinds of very, very life-saving, you know, information, potentially life-saving information that you can use for your health to protect your health and to increase your knowledge as to how your body works so that you can be that much more empowered about how it works. I also wanted to share one more thing with you that's actually on this newsletter. There are so many other interesting features that I have on this half of the month's newsletter, but I wanted to share with you one of my tonics that would help you clear the lungs. Okay, so let me go ahead and share that part with you. So here's my respiratory clearing, metabolic stimulating tonic. You can rid your respiratory tract of inhaled irritants and excess mucus. So this is the ingredients, and these are the instructions. You use a paper or cotton tea bag to insert all of the ingredients you see here. Or you can simmer it loosely in 2 to 3 cups of purified spring water and then strain it later. But you'll still get a lot of the sediment. So if you use one of those paper or cotton tea bags and put all of the ingredients in there, then you'll have a very, very minimum amount of residue. Okay, so you put 3 cloves of raw garlic in there in the 2 to 3 cups of purified spring water, and a half a teaspoon of turmeric root, a half a teaspoon of ginger root, and a dash of black pepper, a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. Try not to use those substitutes. They don't taste like the fresh lemon juice at all, and they don't have the nutrients either. And 1 teaspoon of the stevia green leaf powder or the fresh leaves. So do not use the white powder extract unless it's organic, because the non-organic stevias have ethylene glycol, so many other known carcinogens, cancer-causing chemicals in it. So please do not, you think you're doing yourself a favor by avoiding sugar. The stevia that's not organic is actually very, very toxic. But if you find the organic product, then you can use the white powder. But I prefer that people use the green leaf powder, the fresh leaf powder, because it has so many more nutrients in it. Why extract only the stevia side from the plant when you have a huge array of all these beneficial phytochemical compounds that are in these plants? So that's my preference, and the taste is so much better too. So once you bring it to a boil, you simmer it for just maybe 5 minutes, and you allow all of these wonderful nutrients to steep into the water. And then you can add, once you pour it into your cup, or however many cups you're pouring for people, you can add 1 tablespoon of raw honey. Do not put the raw honey in the hot water. You're going to destroy the active enzymes that are in the raw honey. So I do advocate only raw organic honey. Otherwise, you're going to get adulterated honey. Sometimes companies have the audacity to ruin this wonderful healing product that bees produce for us, and they add so many toxic chemicals to these, or they add, genetically modified sugars and all kinds of other junk in there. So you want organic raw honey. Alrighty, so I do have a video on this channel that talks about how healing and how safe raw honey actually is compared to other sweeteners. Okay, so you might want to look that up on this channel. If you like what you have seen tonight, please feel free to like and share, and please subscribe for free on this channel. But if you'd like to join the Institute, it's only $12.97 a month, and you can, quit at any time. I don't take any, I just do month to month. I don't do 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. I don't want to hassle with that kind of bookkeeping. But people seem to be enjoying the newsletter, and I invite you to join as a True Health Mastery Institute member. All right, so this is where you can join. You go to my website here. Those of you who have been here before, I know you've seen this before, you've heard this before, but if you go, those of you who are new here, holisticchoices.com is my website, and you can click on True Health Mastery Institute, and it'll describe all of the perks that you get as a True Health Mastery Institute member, and you get this free newsletter that I provide information about every 2 weeks. So this is a bi-monthly newsletter. So if you'd like to peruse this page and find out all of the advantages of being a member, and also to join the membership, you can just click join here, and it will take you through the payment process and provide you with a link that you can follow to access your member area in the True Health Mastery Institute website. So there are many articles, many past articles, videos, all kinds of information there to help you build your knowledge and truly master your health. So you've got all this information all over the internet, and you're clicking here and clicking there. You're finding contradictory information. You're finding incomplete information, the wrong information, disinformation. So this is the one hub where my 47 years of experience of researching and writing and teaching, and one-on-one with clients. I did retire my practice 15 years ago, but I didn't really retire. I've been, for the last 15 years, I have been teaching and writing and researching and producing all kinds of things because I want humanity to get this information, this life-saving information. It can save your life if you don't have this information. So many people are literally dying out there because they don't know about the nutrient factors that are in the plant kingdom, but yet scientists have been studying them for decades, and for even longer, indigenous peoples, the ancients, have been applying these botanicals for thousands of years, right? So anyhow, I just wanted to introduce you to the True Health Mastery Institute's True Health Journal newsletter. All righty. So that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got a lot of information out of it. And I know it was a little bit technical, but I tried my best to define terms as I went along. But the book I'm writing on cancer, I'm very excited about, and it's really slow going because it's in the midst of other projects regular projects that I have to produce, every week or every month. So the book that I'm writing on cancer is going to take a little bit longer, but I am working on it, just so you know, and I will announce very broadly, to all my social media sites and to my True Health Master Institute members. And so members will get a discounted price on the book. It's getting to be quite a desk reference sort of book, but it'll fill in all of the information that one would need if they are trying to prevent cancer, or even, as some of the scientists have found, to help destroy cancer cells. And some of these are human studies, and some of them are animal studies, and some of them are just in vitro studies where they analyze, what's going on at the cell culture in the laboratory. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next video. Again, like, share, and subscribe. That way you get this video. This video gets put in front of so many more people when you hit the like button. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.